Good evening, I am Jack Fujii and welcome to the second session of Agriculture 194E, Focus on Agriculture. Focus on Agriculture is a one-credit course offered by your College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management here at the University of Hawaii at Hilo. And we come to you live every Thursday evening from the television studios located in the Mookini Library here on the UH Hilo campus, and we also come to you by way of the Hawaii Interactive Television System, or HITS, and your local community service channel. Before I go on, if there are any of you that have to get a hold of me, there are several ways that you can get a hold of me, and if I could have the Elmo, please. You can get a hold of me by snail mail at 200 West Kawili Street, Hilo, Hawaii 96720-4091, or by phone at 933-0850, or by fax at 974-7674, or by email, and my email address is jfujii@hawaii.edu. And while I still have the Elmo here, I'd like to put in a plug for the College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management here at the university. We have several programs. We have a program in agribusiness for those of you who are interested in the agribusiness side of agriculture. We also have an agroecology environmental quality program. We also have an animal science program, which has an excellent pre-veterinary medicine program, and also a production program. We also have aquaculture, crop protection, general agriculture, and tropical horticulture. So if you know anyone that would like to have an excellent hands-on education in agriculture, please get a hold of me and I'll get all the information to you. Since we are coming to you live this evening at approximately 8 p.m., those of you in the viewing audience, and of course those of you here in the classroom, can ask questions of our guests. So I hope you jot down a few notes and a few questions, and hopefully we'll have some time a little later on where you might be able to ask the question to our guests this evening. We have another very interesting presentation for you. I hope you don't change a channel. This evening we're featuring Kilauea Lodge and Restaurant located in Volcano here on the Big Island of Hawaii. And my guest this evening is Albert Jeyte, and Albert is the main chef, the executive chef there. And I'm going to turn the class over to Al, and we can start our cooking. So Al, why don't you take over?
Thanks, Jack. Good evening. Tonight we would like to start with, if we have time, hopefully we have, 4 dishes, which is rice pilaf, a chicken dish I call chicken Tuscany. Then we're going over to dessert, and which is a bread pudding and with Portuguese sweetbread, and hopefully still time enough for a custard mix. So we're going to start off with trying to make the rice pilaf. And the first thing is I have here 1 cup of wild rice, which I have to parboil a little bit because it takes a little longer for the rice to boil. And in the meantime, I'm also going to make the other ingredients for the rice pilaf, which is some olive oil, and then I'm going to. You do need another kitchen.
Stove is kind of slow, huh?
Yes.
Well, I hope we don't go all night now.
Well, we can always lean on. So I have here 2 cups of onions, diced onions.
Okay.
I have 1 cup of diced carrots.
Okay.
I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of garlic, chopped
Okay.
garlic. Actually, this is baked garlic.
So when you say baked garlic, you bake the garlic
Bake
first?
the garlic before
And then
in
use-
olive oil and then chopped it.
I see.
I'm going to add some 2 tablespoons of parsley.
Okay. Is that just regular parsley or not cilantro?
No, it's regular parsley. 10 bay leaves. Half a spoonful of white pepper. 1 spoonful of salt.
Okay.
And I think I have 3 spoonfuls of oregano.
Okay.
And I'm going to let this simmer a little bit till it gets soft, and the wild rice is going to be soft enough to be put in. The rice that I'm going to use, it's parboiled long grain rice. And we're going to add that a little later, as soon as the vegetables are soft enough.
So this
Yeah.
long grain rice you can buy in the supermarket,
You buy it in the supermarket in little packages.
and it says parboiled on it?
It says parboiled, or it's converted rice.
I see. Okay.
So you can use this. This is about, for this recipe here, I use about 4 cups. And later on, I'm going to add some turmeric for color. You can leave the turmeric out, and that way the rice will stay a little on the light side. But if you want it a little yellowish, you can add a little turmeric to it.
Okay. So you don't want to use the short grain sticky rice. You want to use the long grain
Parboiled.
Parboiled.
Yeah, the converted rice.
rice.
Yes.
Okay.
It's simmering nicely. In the meantime, the wild rice is getting ready,
Okay.
and it will open up a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. It will start to open up a little bit and get a little softer. You have to watch out they don't get overcooked for too long, because then it gets mushy, and by the time the rice pilaf is going to be ready, it's otherwise too soft. I think we can start something else
Okay.
while this is going on. Oh, forgot.
Peas.
Some peas. Optional.
How many? Is that about a cup?
About cup and a half, yes.
All right. Al, they say that your microphone's not working too well. I'm just going to have to move this thing out a little bit, and maybe we'll put it. Let's see, how can we do it? Why don't we put it like this? Okay.
How's this? Much better? Thumbs up? Okay. The next dish is going to be rice chicken Tuscany. And there we use, this is going to be our main dish tonight. We're going to use boneless chicken breast.
Okay.
We sprinkle that with a little bit of salt and pepper. Actually, I have, I'm going to put them in here.
So do you serve these particular dishes over at Kilauea
This
Lodge
one is,
Restaurant?
yes. So,
Little salt
little
and pepper?
salt and pepper,
Okay.
and a little nutmeg.
That's a secret weapon, huh?
That's a secret weapon.
I see. Okay. Little nutmeg. That's the first time I've seen little nutmeg used on chicken.
So I'm going to put this up here, because nothing else we can do about the...
So Kilauea Lodge Restaurant, that's just open for dinner, you say?
we're just open for dinner.
And then it's best you
And-
make a reservation also, right?
Well, it would help, because you never know how busy we are, and
Yeah, we don't
you
want to
don't want to
drive.
show up. You don't want to show up and say, sorry,
Yeah,
you have to wait a certain amount of time.
especially if you drive in from Hilo, right?
Well, it's only a 30 minutes drive. I mean, on the mainland, 30 minutes drive is nothing.
You know what they say in Hilo, if you drive more than 5 minutes, you're too far away. And
You can always visit the volcano too before you come for dinner.
That's right, but make sure
So-
you make your reservations first, right?
Right.
So you're located right before the national park?
We're right in the village. We're the old YMCA.
I see.
And the YMCA was built in 1938.
Okay.
I'm going to use the, check this here.
How's my stove doing? All right,
Stove is doing just great now.
all right,
Let's just take some time.
okay.
I'm going to put the rice in.
So when they say it's converted rice or parboiled, that means it's been pre-cooked? It's a
It has been
pre-cooked rice?
prepared, yes. Partially prepared.
How's our wild rice doing?
That's what I'm checking. It's coming along. Takes a little bit longer.
Okay. So when you take a bite of the wild rice, it can't be real hard.
When it's still too crunchy, then you have to wait.
Okay.
In the meantime, we're going to use a little bit butter here.
Okay. And you said that you belong to the Rotary Club, and the Rotary Club had some kind of scholarship for students?
If you're a university teacher, or if you're a graduate student, the Rotary Club has scholarships available, ambassadorial scholarships.
To study
And-
abroad, right?
You have to study abroad, and that's for up to 2 years. And you can study for 6 months a language, and some of the scholarships are up to $25,000 for
And,
a two-year program.
and if you want more information, just go to rotary.org.
Go to rotary.org,
Okay.
and you can download some applications and contact your local Rotary Club, and they will interview you and might sponsor you. So it's an excellent opportunity to get some study done and get paid for it.
So it could be for both students and university students, but you must be at least a junior standing and have a grade point average of 3.0 or above, right?
Above, yes.
Okay. So do you have to drain out the water on the wild rice, or?
Yes, because you need the water. Actually, you need the water for the rice.
I see.
So I'm going to put in a spoonful of turmeric,
Okay, turmeric.
and mix it before you put the water in. You can see it's changing color here.
No, it's going to be very colorful with the green peas and the carrots. So about how much water did you have in
I
there
have
with
about, let's see,
with the wild rice?
I have about, what did I have here? About 8 cups.
8 cups?
Yes.
Okay. Then you mix that all together with the...
Mix it, yes. Don't disturb it too much.
Okay.
turn this off and bring this one up. And let's cover it up. And once it starts boiling, you turn it down. To low and just let it sit. And normally it's about 20 minutes for the rice to get ready.
So if the rice is parboiled, it doesn't take as long to cook, is
It's
that
about
correct?
20 minutes
Oh, I see, okay.
altogether. But now we're ready to do the chicken. There we go. And again, I don't like to cook on high heat.
So actually, you're saying that you're not a cook, or you're not a cook originally, but you kind of switched over to become a cook. You were in the television industry
Right.
before, right?
Right. I used to be a makeup artist, and came over here to work on Magnum PI.
For Magnum PI?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know if anyone in this class remembers. It's been a while.
Well, it came after Hawaii 5-0.
Yes. So now we're going to saute get the butter hot. Going to saute the chicken.
Okay. So does that nutmeg add kick it up a notch or something?
Yes.
Okay. And do you want that frying pan real hot?
Not really hot, just
Okay.
hot enough so it starts sauteing. There, you hear it.
Okay.
And see, we got the margarine. Now we're going to use some apricot marmalade.
Apricot marmalade?
Apricot marmalade, yes.
That's a mixture of apricots and orange marmalade?
No, just the apricot marmalade.
Oh, okay. You
You
buy
can
that in
you
the
can
su-
use orange marmalade instead of
Okay.
the apricot. And we add some green onions.
Okay, chopped green onions.
Yes.
If you like green onions, put a lot more in. If you don't like it, a little less, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then a little bit tarragon,
Tarragon.
dried tarragon leaves.
Okay.
And grapes.
Uh-huh. Both red and green seedless grapes?
Yes, seedless.
Okay.
Just for the color, you use you can use the mix. Otherwise, just the red or the green will do just as fine.
Okay. And you were saying that your restaurant over there is unique in that you serve some game food like
Oh yeah,
ostrich.
we use ostrich, antelope, venison, and then duck. We use duck, and so yeah, it's something that not everyone has.
So if you want to try ostrich meat or venison or antelope or duck, go try it out over there at Kilauea Lodge. But do you have to call to make sure that you have it on the menu?
No,
or-
it's well, it's not. The menu changes a little bit every day, so it might not. We might not have antelope tomorrow.
So you call to make sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And here is some white wine. This is actually it's a volcano wine. It's a symphony from the
Okay.
Volcano Winery.
Okay. And about how much would you say that is? Quarter cup?
That
or
was
half,
about
half a cup?
3. Let's see, how much wine? Yeah, about a cup, quarter cup.
Okay.
Covers it up.
So about how many people does your restaurant hold, Al?
We can hold 75
I see.
at one seating. So, but
And what time do you open?
we open up at 5:30 till 9 o'clock.
Okay.
There we go. Now let's take the chicken out.
You make a sauce with the leftover juices there?
And we're going to reduce the sauce, the juice in there, and I'm going to add some whipping cream, 36%.
Okay. About how much would you say?
Uh,
If you like whipping cream, add a lot.
if you like whipping cream,
Okay, and if you don't
More.
like it, put a little bit. Okay. Sounds good. That's the beauty about cooking, huh?
yes,
You add to your liking.
you add or just leave out things.
Okay.
Next thing is going to be a custard mix, and again, this will take a little time. Because we're going to add caramelize some sugar before we do anything else. And this is 2.5 cups of sugar.
Okay.
And we're going to add about 1/2 cup of water.
Okay, 1/2 cup of water. Do you want to do that over high heat or low
That's
heat?
high heat.
High
yes.
heat. Well, I hope my stove will go high enough for you, Al.
Well, we just wait. If I find the right knobs here.
Can you get it? You want me to give you a hand there? Oh, there
There
it
we
is.
go.
Okay, you got it.
Just turn them all. Eventually, they will go on. Okay. What we want to do is we don't want to put too much liquid in there, just enough to
Kind of wet it.
keep
huh?
it wetted. Yes, and because we need to reduce all the liquid that's in here.
So does the sugar water mixture turn kind of brownish when
Yes,
it
till it
caramelizes?
gets an amber color.
Okay. And this is to make
So-
your custard, you say?
That's to make the custard, because the bread pudding that I make, I use custard mix. So that's why I'm trying to show you how I make my custard. So this will take some time. In the meantime, we'll go back to the chicken. That's going well.
Rice pilaf is coming off
Rice
pretty
pilaf
good.
is
and,
coming along. We put the chicken back in.
Okay, so once the mixture is reduced a little bit, you add the chicken.
Reintroduce the chicken, yes. And now again, we'll wait. This is way too liquidy, and the chicken hasn't been cooked through yet.
So actually, you took the chicken out when it was about halfway done.
Well, not even halfway done. Just enough that it's been
Cooked on the outside.
cooked. Yeah, on the outside a little bit, and then because you want to put it back, and you don't want to dry it out.
I see.
So you don't want to overcook it. That's why then finish it up with the reduction of the sauce at the same time.
I see.
Any questions so far?
They're going to wait until you...
Till the end?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not allowed yet.
I'll be lucky if I get any questions from this classroom, but we'll see tonight. I think I should make it a requirement for the course that they have to ask at least one question at least once throughout this semester.
This is already the custard mix, because the one I'm going to use for the bread pudding.
Okay.
Once you make the custard mix, it should go into the refrigerator for at least 24 hours.
So how do you make this custard mix?
That's what you wait. You wait till you caramelize the sugar.
But in this jar, you have something that's pre-prepared.
This has been done already. Yes.
And how do you make that?
That's the same.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm doing here.
Okay.
It's like, we put something in the oven, we take something out, it's done, right?
I see. Okay.
Cooking
The magic
trick,
of
right?
television. I see.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Now this might take a little time here. In the meantime, let's do the bread pudding. This is Portuguese sweetbread, and I have here 12 ounces of Portuguese sweetbread. I cut it down to into little diced.
Okay.
And I'm going to add some cinnamon, coconut flakes,
Okay.
raisins, and poppy seed.
About how much poppy seed?
Well, yeah, just since you asked, I used about 1¼ ounce,
Okay.
and about 1 tablespoon of cinnamon,
Okay.
and I used 6 ounces of golden or blonde raisins.
Okay. The yellow
The
raisin.
yellow raisins.
Okay.
Get back here.
So you want to keep kind of turning the chicken as
Yeah,
the
you want
sauce
it just on
reduces.
one side. You want to
Okay.
dry out one side. Then I use coconut flakes, about 1 cup of coconut flakes.
1 cup of coconut, shredded coconut.
Shredded coconut, yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to mix that a little bit.
So all these recipes you made up yourself, right, Al?
So this one, it's an adaptation from someone that gave me a recipe with brioche. And I came up with a sort of using the local Portuguese sweetbread instead of making the brioche.
Well, folks, we got 4 things going at one time, so you got to pay attention to what we're doing.
Okay, now I'm using 5 cups of the custard mix.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is going to be tasty.
think one more cup.
Okay, so that's a 1/5 cup of your custard mix. And you just mix that.
I'm going to
all
mix it up.
Okay.
And again, before you put it into a pan, and you can use a baking pan, a bread pan, a loaf pan, and bake it in there. What you do, you cover it up with cover up the loaf pan with some foil.
Okay.
And you bake it at about 350 degrees for about an hour and a half on the bottom.
Okay.
Now this makes you let sit so it all the liquid is being absorbed by the bread, and then you mix it again, and the end result will be this here. Okay. What you do is or the loaf pan. I didn't use a loaf pan. I use a restaurant pan.
I see.
Okay.
Okay. So you can put it in any size
yes.
pan that you want.
Oh, and let's turn this off.
So our
think we
chicken
got the,
Tuscany is done.
Chicken Tuscany is done. The rice pilaf is done.
Then the sauce, you just put it right over the chicken.
Right over the chicken. You could reduce it a little bit longer, but it's okay.
Looks good.
Anyone?
Still got a little bit of heat going on that
see
frying
this with
pan.
the
There's still a little bit of heat going on in that one. Maybe
Oh.
you turn it off completely. Yeah. There you go.
thank you. Oh, there's a heat going over here. Okay. And can we see this on the camera with the sugar?
Yeah, we can get the overhead camera on that.
Okay, it's
Now
slowly turning into more bubbles, and the longer it cooks, and it will turn into a little amber, some amber color. And that's when you use the whipping cream.
So you don't want to overcook that, otherwise it'll come.
Otherwise, it
Too sticky, yeah?
it turns bitter.
Oh, I see.
So it's
So as soon as you see the amber color, then
amber color, yeah. If it turns too dark, it will taste bitter. And you also want to make sure that there's the sugar doesn't collect on the side of the pot, so it does not burn on the side.
okay. So anytime it burns, it puts a bitter flavor into the custard mix.
Right. Let's see.
And the rice pilaf is nice and yellow and
There we go.
colorful with all the peas and carrots in there. And we'll put it on our table so that the overhead camera can zoom right into it. Okay, and that's rice pilaf with the chicken Tuscany. And now you're going to show us how to make the custard mix.
Because the mix, the sugar is still going. In the meantime, spray. You can either use a little bit butter Where's my...
Line the...
To line the pot.
Okay.
Or use some parchment paper to do that. Or you can use
Pam or something?
some spray. Yeah. That way you won't set too much.
Okay.
And then you just fill your portion. Now this particular size, I wouldn't fill it more than half.
Okay.
Okay, because it will still rise and it will come out like that.
So how's our sugar coming?
The sugar's just coming just fine. It's getting there. I will cover over the name.
That's what you call heavy whipping cream.
Heavy 36% whipping cream, yes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use 1 quart of whipping cream and 1 quart of whole milk.
Okay. And do you use egg also?
That will come
Okay.
too.
All right. Well, if you have a good recipe, you can also, well, if you have a good recipe for custard, that'll be something good for
Yeah,
Hilo.
if you have, you don't have to do this particular recipe. Okay? If you know a recipe, or you see another recipe in a cookbook that you like, go ahead and use it.
So this particular custard, now, if I wanted to make a custard pie, I can get a pie pan with the pie crust in there.
Put the pie crust in and put
pour that in there, and I'll have custard
yes,
pie.
right.
Oh, okay.
But you have to, usually the custard you have to double boil.
Oh, okay.
In a double boiler.
I see.
So you put the custard mix into a bowl, and then you in a pan with hot water, and that will then make the custard.
Okay.
Because you don't want to expose it to direct heat.
So you're actually going to make some custard right now.
No, I'm going to make the custard mix.
The mix, okay.
Yes, just the mix. So my recipe calls for, let's use a larger bowl, four eggs and 12 yolks. Okay.
4 eggs and 12 yolks.
So,
and what do you do with the rest of the egg white?
Egg white, you can either make an omelet, or you can make what do you call it? Bizaise.
Or meringue?
Meringue.
Okay.
Make sure you don't get any egg yolk into the egg white when you make meringue, because sometimes it won't stiffen up.
So you said you went to a cooking school in France?
Yes, in the southern France. But most of it I learned in the restaurant on hand.
Trial and error, huh?
Trial and error.
And you say that you're your own guinea pig, and if it tastes good to you, then
Then it's good.
then it's good. Okay. Are you looking for any chefs, or
If someone wants to apply, come up and
always looking for good chefs, huh?
always looking for good hands.
Okay.
So that's 12 yolks and 4 whole eggs.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of eggs you got to do. Okay.
And I always do the yolk first, because if I mess up, I can always use one of the 4 eggs as an extra yolk.
Good idea.
Oh, there we go.
Is it turning?
Starting to turn just about now.
Okay, maybe we can get that overhead camera onto our sugar that's caramelizing.
A little bit more. But it's starting to come. Get there.
So you just want it just starting to become amber, not dark amber.
Right.
And this custard mix is your creation, is it?
That's again,
Or standard?
custom mix. It's a standard saying, but then you play around with any recipe, any cookbook that you read. You can apply your own imagination to what might be better, or the way you might like to have it, the way you like to have it done. There's no standard, no set rule to reading a cookbook or to doing a recipe. You can always leave something out. You can add something, whatever. It's your imagination. There we go. Here, that's it.
Okay, maybe our
Okay.
camera can get into the caramelized sugar there. Can we move that camera over?
Before I put the cream in. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so
Okay. And you do this in this order. The whipping cream first.
okay.
Okay. And that's a nice color. This is a local way of measuring your quarts.
Very good.
You don't have to do anything to it. You just wait. The sugar will dissolve by itself because of the heat, and as soon as it starts boiling, you stop. You don't want to overcook.
So you leave it on that high heat.
You
and
leave
then,
it on the. I leave it on the high heat. Yes.
and then once it starts to boil, you turn it off.
Right.
Okay. This is the first time I saw someone make custard.
Like I said, you have to wait till the next day. Put it in the refrigerator to. It has to set.
Okay.
It's got a little smash on the way over here.
And you serve this custard at the restaurant.
Yes. Now, there also is a little tool you can use.
Oh, to separate the...
To separate the eggs.
Ah.
Yeah. Now I'm ready for the one more. Since I used already some of the egg white in here too much, I'm going to put one more yolk. And that's the reason. That's the reason I wait till the end to put the whole egg in.
I guess this custard tastes good, but if you have cholesterol problem, best you take some phytosterol pills before you eat the custard.
No, you just don't overeat it. Don't overeat. You can eat in my opinion, you can eat anything you want to, just as long as you keep it in moderation.
That's right. That's what they say the French do,
that's
right?
To me, it's a secret of controlling your weight and staying healthy.
Small portions. That's the trouble with most people. They like to stuff themselves.
Well,
I guess.
especially when it tastes good. You want to eat more.
Yeah.
Okay, now you beat the eggs. So it's nice, creamy.
So how many yolks was that again?
That was 12 yolks
And,
and
4
4
eggs.
eggs.
What would you say would be the specialty over there at Kilauea Lodge? You have a signature dish?
Well, people come. We have long-time customers that come and they come and eat the duck all the time.
The duck?
They come eat nothing but duck. Others come and eat. They want the venison. Some just want to eat the lamb.
I see.
So that's why we don't change our menu too often, or seldom at all. Adding new items once in a while, but keeping the old one because people come and say, "How come you don't have duck tonight? How come you don't have lamb tonight? I came up here to have lamb." Well, if you really want to have the lamb or want to have the duck, when you make a reservation, make sure there's lamb or the duck.
So when you make your reservation, make sure you ask for or make sure that the dish that you want is there.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I think we're specialized in those dishes that a lot of restaurants don't carry.
Are you going to specialize in bison or buffalo meat?
I haven't thought about that yet.
Okay. That might be something to try out, Al.
Yes. Huh?
So is it coming to a boil now, or?
It's slowly. See, it's still, the sugar is still on the bottom, but it's starting to get soft.
Oh, so it's got to come real smooth.
Now it's no problem if you stir it.
So is it better to stir that mixture while you're heating it?
You can save some time if you
I see.
do that.
So what got you into the wild game kind of dishes?
Actually, the ostrich the idea I got the ostrich from a trip to South Africa. And
what does this ostrich meat taste like?
ostrich meat, it tastes like meat. It doesn't
Okay.
it doesn't taste like, maybe you might think it tastes like
Not foul.
like a bird, fowl. It doesn't taste like fowl. It tastes more like meat, and it looks like meat.
And it's is it
a deep red.
dark meat?
Dark,
Is it?
it's a dark meat, yes.
And how do you prepare it?
We prepare it with sauteing it with like a little garlic and some shallots and.
Is it like a steak? You mean?
No, we little medallions,
I
like
see.
little small medallions.
I
It's
see.
not big. You have to clean it and so.
And what part do you use? Do you use the thighs or? Do you
No,
use
this is what I use is a leg,
Ah,
and it's almost like a medallion.
okay. I might have to go over there and try that out. Never had ostrich or antelope for that matter. How we doing?
We're doing just fine.
Okay.
As long as you have some patience, we'll wait till it.
Do you have to put
till
that
it's-
on a
till it's
higher
done.
heat? Do you have to put that on a higher heat, or is that?
I can actually do that.
Yeah, the lower right burner is the hottest heat. There we go. And for those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194E, Focus on Agriculture. And this evening we're featuring Kilauea Lodge and Restaurant. And my guest this evening is Albert Jeyte. And he's prepared for us several dishes. He's prepared for us rice pilaf and a chicken Tuscany. And we're preparing the dessert right now, which is a bread pudding served with a custard mix, I believe it is.
Yes.
And what's next?
It's made with a custard mix.
Made with a custard
Yes.
mix. Okay.
The next thing is we're going to dress the one we have here.
So in other words, the custard mix is what you make the bread, the Portuguese sausage bread pudding out of.
Right.
And if you wanted to, you can make it into a regular custard if you wanted to.
Yes. I also use a little of the custard mix for dressing.
Okay, little papaya there, slice of papaya.
Now, someone has time to whip up some cream? Oh, no, we use this one today.
Okay. Uh-huh. And what's next?
And this is a berry sauce. This is actually, it's a strawberry, blackberry, and papaya.
Strawberry, blackberry, and papaya. About
Yes.
equal mixture?
If you were, pardon?
Equal mixture?
No, the blackberry and strawberry are equal mixtures. Papaya is about, weight-wise, it's about half.
Okay. You kind of drizzle that berry mixture. That looks good. And top it off with
a maraschino cherry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, see, that's not what I wanted.
Now you see, my stove is too hot now.
It's man, you don't need another one. So now, this is an important procedure. You don't put the egg into the milk here. You do it the other way. You put the milk into the egg. Otherwise it will curl. And what you do is what's the other one?
Do you actually pour the sugar milk mixture when it's hot?
Yes, you pour it in. The basically boiling the egg. You're curing the egg, and do it. You don't pour it all in all at once. You just put in a little bit at a time to just take off the shock of the hot.
So you don't want to cook the egg.
Yes. Well, you do want to cook the egg, but you don't want to.
You don't want scrambled eggs.
Shock the egg.
I see.
That it becomes hard or curly. Now you can.
So when you start off, you start off first with just a ladle, and then
Right.
mix that in, and then after you mix the ladle full in, then you pour the whole
Then you
thing
can
in.
pour in the rest of it.
And constantly mix it
And then-
while you're pouring it.
Yes, and you see it's still nice, smooth mixture.
Otherwise, you might have a lumpy custard.
Right. Now, I have 2 ounces of pure vanilla extract.
Okay.
And if you want to, you can make it an orange liqueur. Add some orange liqueur into it. Anyone knows? I don't want to mention the name, but
You can mention it.
Grand Marnier.
Grand Marnier?
Grand Marnier.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's orange liqueur.
That's an orange liqueur, yes. There we go.
Then you just mix that
And
with the
you mix it up,
Portuguese.
and it's ready to let it cool off before you put it in the refrigerator. Put it in a different container, and just let it sit. And don't cover it up. Put it on the top somewhere where nothing else can fall into it.
I see.
So because otherwise the moisture will collect on the lid.
Okay. And that's it.
And that's basically it.
Okay, we're going to open it up to question and answers. And for those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194E, focus on agriculture. And this evening we're featuring Kilauea Lodge and Restaurant. And my guest this evening is the head chef and owner there, Albert Jeyte. And he's prepared for us several dishes, bread pudding, and rice pilaf, and a chicken Tuscany. And the numbers are on the screen. The numbers are 961, 9046, and 974 7726. So if you have any questions, please give us a call, and we'll be happy to answer your calls. We are on live this evening, and I hope while we're waiting for some phone calls, maybe people in the classroom might have some questions. We have a question in the back. Go ahead. Just press the button and let it go. When the green light comes on, go ahead with the question.
For the bread pudding, how much poppy seeds did you add?
I added about 2 ounces. Let me check my recipe. One and a quarter.
1 1/4.
1 1/4 ounce, because it's light, very light. So it looks like a lot, but it's not.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have another question. Go ahead. Release the button. Yeah, when the green light, is the green light on? Okay, now go ahead and ask.
For the bread pudding, could we use fresh coconut or just the store-bought flakes?
You can use fresh coconut. The best thing, what I would do with fresh coconut is, if you put them in, shave it, and then add a little, put it in the frying pan with a little bit of butter, and saute it very slowly. Saute it and brown it a little bit. It gives a very nutty, like a nice nutty flavor to it.
Okay, we have our first caller, so will the caller let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please.
Hello.
Hello, where are you calling from?
I'm calling on from Anahola, Kauai.
Okay.
My question is, as far as the custard go, you know that Grand Marnier
The orange
that goes in a
liqueur?
custard. Yeah, you guys got any substitute for that?
Albert?
Well, you can use different. How can I say, different liqueurs, but I would not use any color liqueur like a raspberry liqueur, or keep it on the brownish side. You can use a brandy. You don't have to use the orange liqueur. You can use a brandy.
Okay, thank you.
But be careful with the not to overpower it with the alcohol.
Alrighty.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling. And I think we have another phone call. Could you let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please. No one's on the line. Do we have any questions from the classroom? We had a hand. Okay, go ahead.
Are you planning any special menu for Valentine's Day?
I have not thought about that yet. Usually, or not usually, but sometimes I put curly crème on, and that's it's a heavy heavy dessert, but it's a very, very good.
Okay, we've got a lot of time here this evening. We are on live this evening from the television studios located in the Mookini Library here on the University of Hawaii at Hilo campus. And this evening we're featuring the Kilauea Lodge and Restaurant. And we have a caller, so let's take the caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Yes, I'm calling from the island of Kauai also.
Okay.
Up in Kilauea, Kauai.
Okay.
I was wondering on the custard, after it's all mixed up and it's ready, he sets it out to cool, but he didn't cover it because he didn't want moisture. Now, when can you add it to a crust?
When
to
you
put into a refrigerator and let it get totally firm before you put it into the oven for 20 minutes.
When can you use the
real
mix?
light.
When you're ready to use the mix? When are you ready to use the mix? Is that what you're asking?
No, but would you leave it in the refrigerator?
Yes.
And then, okay, you can get the pre-bought crust at the store.
Oh, in other words, you want to use this custard to make a custard pie.
Yes.
Okay, Al, do you know how to make a custard pie out of that? See, we use the custard to make bread pudding. Yeah, the Portuguese
Well,
sausage.
you can line your.
No, I understand. But will it come really firm? Like if you would have it in a pie in the recipe you gave?
Well, it's usually what you do there. You add a little bit of cornstarch to it to make it a little firmer. If you just use the custard mix, it will stay very smooth. It does not get as solid like you would need it for the pie.
Excellent program.
Thank you very much for calling from the island of Kauai.
Thank you. Keep it up.
Oh, okay. So Al, if you're going to make a custard pie, do you bake it? Do you put it in a pie shell and bake it?
Yes.
About for how long?
Gee, I don't know.
Until it kind of solidifies and turns kind of golden brown on top, right?
Yeah, till it gets. You check it once. You open up the door and check it once in a while.
Okay.
But
okay.
I would say my custards go on about an hour and a half on 350 degrees.
Okay.
So the custard pie, I really don't know.
Okay.
You have to.
Well, maybe some of our viewers can try it out and put it in the oven, try to make a custard pie out of that.
Let me know.
And then they can call me up next week and tell me how it turned out. But in the meantime, we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Good evening, Dr. Fujii.
Hi.
I'm calling from Pearl City.
Okay, Pearl City.
I would like to see what the bread pudding looks like.
The bread pudding. Okay, we have the bread pudding over there on the table, so our overhead camera can go on that. And also, Al has one inside the cooking pan.
This is inside it.
And I'd like to ask about the custard. Does that have to be baked after you blend the milk in with the sugar and the egg?
This mix that here, after it's been cooled for a while, it will solidify a little bit and get a little creamier, not as liquidy as this one here. So
you don't need to bake it then?
Then you pour it into a custard bowl. They're little sometimes 2 ounces to 6 ounce bowls, white bowls, and you put it in a water bath.
Okay.
Okay, and you cover the bowl, the outside of the bowl, at least till about a quarter inch, a half an inch from the top. But you need
so this custard is
you need to
creme brulee?
Pardon? It's the same with creme brulee. Afterwards, you add some sugar to it, and you heat it with a torch, and that's how you make creme brulee.
Thank
But
you
it-
very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, thank you for calling from Pearl City on Oahu there. And we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please? Hello, you're on the air.
Hello,
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Wahiwa.
Okay, and your question?
I just wanted the recipe.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a little late because Al's got to type it up and fax it to me, and then once he faxes it to me, I'll type it out.
Which
on my
recipe?
computer.
Which recipe?
Which recipe were you interested in?
The bread pudding.
Okay.
You want to write it down?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, shoot.
Everybody. That way I don't have to type it up.
No, I need it because
I know.
people are gonna they're gonna email me, and I've got to have something for them.
It's 12 ounce of Portuguese sweetbread,
Okay.
1 1/4 ounce of poppy seeds,
Okay.
1 tablespoon of cinnamon,
Okay.
1 cup of coconut flakes,
1 cup.
1 cup
Shredded coconuts.
shredded coconut flakes,
Okay.
5 cups of the custard mix, the one I just made here,
Okay.
6 ounce of the golden or blonde raisins,
I got that.
okay, and a little butter or pan coating spray to line.
Pam's Cody.
Yeah, to spray the. You use it for
Just to coat the bottom.
to coat the side and the bottom a little bit.
All right.
Okay, but not too much.
And
Okay.
how many?
And you bake it for
Minutes?
you bake it for hour and a half at 350 degrees.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay, and don't fill up the bread pan no more than half.
No more than half.
No more than half.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
you're welcome.
Al, I think your wife is on the line, so
Uh-oh.
go ahead. We'll get a critique from your wife. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Lorna Jeyte, and
I'm
I
in
just
trouble.
wanted to say that we have a printed copy of the bread pudding recipe that we did for Cheryl Satsumi's newest cookbook. And if anyone wants me to send it, they can just drop me a postcard. That would be to Lorna at Kilauea Lodge,
Okay.
P.O. Box 116, Volcano 96785, and I can send off the printed recipe that we have that will appear in a cookbook.
Okay. You're going to be inundated with postcards.
Great.
Well, thank you very much, Lorna.
You did a good job, Al.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you offering the recipe.
Okay, good night.
Okay, thank you for calling. And do we have another caller? No caller. Do we have a question from the class? My goodness, you guys got to help me out tonight. We got a little bit of time here. For those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194E, Focus on Agriculture. And this evening we're featuring the Kilauea Lodge and Restaurant. And we have a question in the back, so let's take the question.
About how much servings does your bread pudding make?
I usually do about this, what is it, an inch and a half, or inch, a little bit more than an inch wide. And what I do is I measure it about like this, and then cut across. That's for one serving. And you can always come back for second.
It all depends on how much you like bread pudding. Now,
Bread pudding and
that
how much,
may be one serving
how much
for
of the
one
rice
person,
pilaf
but-
you ate before.
Okay. We have another caller, so could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
I'm calling from Honolulu.
Okay, Honolulu.
And my
your
question is, I got to the boiling point of the pot of the sugar mixture, but I don't know how much was in it.
Okay, that's to make the custard mix.
I know sugar,
Al.
possibly water.
Sugar, I used 2.5 cups. And about...
And how much water?
About 3/4 of a cup of water. Half a
Anything else?
No, you just put that in and then be careful you don't splash it around the pot too much. Stirring it lightly.
Until it turns
Thank
amber.
you so much for being so creative.
Oh.
Aloha no.
Aloha, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for calling from Honolulu. And do we have another caller? We have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please? Hello, you're on the air. Can you walk away from the TV? Yes, go ahead.
I didn't get how much custard measurement on the Portuguese sweetbread. How much was the custard mix?
The custard mix was 6 cups, I think. No, 5 cups.
Hello?
5 cups. Hello?
How many?
5 cups.
Oh,
5 cups.
5 cups of custard mix.
Custard mix, you mean the one in the Jello mix?
You know what you got to do? You got to write to Albert Jeyte's wife. What is that address again?
Custard mix is the one I made with the sugar and the water. Started off with the sugar and the water and added the whipping cream and the whole milk.
Oh, I didn't watch the whole program. I just watched the ending part.
I think you can re-watch it again on Sunday morning.
I think it's replayed on Sunday morning. It was replayed last Sunday, I think, at 8 o'clock to 9:30. Before it was replayed at 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. But this past Sunday, I thought I saw the Focus and Ag class at 8 o'clock to 9:30, I believe it was. And also, Al's going to be getting the recipes to me. And if I could have the Elmo, there's different ways that you can get a hold of me. The best way to get a hold of me is by email, and I'll lift that up a little bit more so you can see. Can you see that? The best way to get a hold of me, email me, and as soon as Al gets the recipes to me, I'll have them typed up and I'll email you the recipes. And hopefully we're working on our website where I can get all the recipes on the work site, but that's taking a little time. Okay, does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Thank you very much.
I'll get the recipes to you, but tell Al to make sure he faxes the recipes to me in a hurry. Okay, we have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hello?
Hi, where are you calling from?
This is Darren from Mililani, Oahu.
Okay. And your question?
I had a question on the bread pudding.
Okay. Boy, that bread pudding is popular
Does it have to be baked in a water
tonight.
vat?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead again.
The bread pudding, no, the bread pudding does not have to be baked in the water bath.
And is there a specific pan size that you use?
I'm sorry?
A specific pan size, 9 by 13 or 8 by 8?
You can use a 1 pound, what's this?
You can use a regular bread loaf pan.
Bread loaf pan, something like this here, this size.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Thank you very much.
you fill it about to half, and then it will come out to like this. And you have to cover it up. You have to cover it up with a foil.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you for calling from Mililani there on Oahu. And do we have another caller? No callers. I'm going back to the audience. Do we have there we go. Thank you.
For the chicken dish, how much apricot marmalade did you use? And same with the grapes. How much grapes?
I usually use about 1 spoonful for a little bit, spoonful, okay? Not just scrape. I particularly like the taste of the apricot with the chicken, so I add a little bit more of the. So if you make it once, it's not enough. Next time add a little bit more, leave some out. Grapes I used about half a cup per serving.
Okay, do we have another question? Go ahead. We have another question from the classroom. Thank you.
Yeah, for the rice pilaf, you know, the vegetables, could we use different kinds of vegetables?
You can use broccoli in it, or cauliflower. Something that does not cook down too fast. Okay, carrots stay a little bit firm. Onions stay firm. The peas will stay firm. So, you're welcome.
Okay, do we have any other questions from the classroom? I see everybody's thinking about a question. They're ready to ask. No questions from the classroom? Yes, go ahead.
My favorite dish is lamb. What kind of lamb do you fix at your restaurant?
I like French lamb, rack of lamb.
And you just bake it?
No, we bake it. We put a herb crust, bread herb crust on top.
Is that local, or you buy it from? It comes from somewhere else.
The one I use is Australian.
Australian. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Or New Zealand.
Does that answer the question? Okay, for those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194E, Focus on Agriculture, and this evening we're featuring Albert Jeyte of the Kilauea Lodge and Restaurant. And Al has prepared for us several dishes, a rice pilaf and a chicken Tuscany and a bread pudding, which has been very popular tonight. And while we wait for phone calls, maybe what I'll do is if I could have the Elmo, please. I'm going to put the schedule on for our Focus on Ag class for this semester. As you know, last Thursday evening we had Sombat's Fresh Thai Cuisine. This evening we have Kilauea Lodge. Next Thursday we're going to have Uncle Miles Catering. And then February 3rd, that's going to be a very interesting one. We're going to do some Chinese cooking with the Maui Community College Culinary Arts Program. We have Robert Santos coming over here from Maui Community College, and we're going to have an excellent speaker also on that evening. So February 3rd will be a good night to be watching our Focus on Ag class. Then we're going to have the Hawaii Community College Auto Mechanics Program coming over and doing some local cooking. And then on the 17th, we're going to have the Hawaii Community College Culinary Arts Program doing some cooking for us. And then on February 24th, we have the Hawaii Community College Auto Body Program, and their students and the faculty members are going to come on and do some local cooking for us. And then on March 3rd, we're going to have the Oceanic Institute there at Sea Life Park on Oahu. They're going to come over, and the Oceanic Institute people are going to prepare dishes using our local fish. So we're going to have a lot of fish recipes on March 3rd. And then on March 10th, we're going to have Margie and Friends in Hilo. She was very popular last semester, so I brought her on again. That's the one, I think they produced a No Can Stop stew or something like that, and they were real popular to be on the program. And we have another caller, so let's go on with the phone calls. Could you let us know where you're calling from, and go ahead with the question, please.
Hello, Dr. Fujii.
Oh, how's it?
This is your friend
Haruso Joe. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Now, this is a question for Albert.
Okay.
At Kilauea Lodge, he seems to specialize in exotic, so-called, I consider exotic type of meats and so forth and so on, that you mentioned, like ostrich and so forth and so on. You mentioned, I think, called a word, medallion. Did I hear that right?
That's the way we cut him. It's a matter of the size, the way we cut it.
Or you cut it a certain way.
It's a little larger than a coin, so that's why it's a medallion, the size of a medallion. It's a figuratively speaking.
Kind of like chicken nuggets size?
Yeah,
or
it's not
a little
really
bigger than
nuggets,
that?
you know.
Okay.
Albert, since you're such a nice person, giving us all your good tips, I've been practicing using the cheap type of meats, steaks and beefs and so forth and so on. And I've been wrapping that pieces of meat, let's say a pound of beef, any kind of beef, and wrap it in tin aluminum foil and put it in a baking pan and roast it for 1 hour, and then turn the oven off. And it's amazingly, it's so moist, and you should try it, Albert.
Okay.
Even with your
that's how we bake our prime rib.
Even prime rib, but you don't want to do it with prime rib because you waste the prime rib. You try it with junk piece of meat.
What, round steak?
I used to be a World War II cook and I used to use the thing called mutton.
Oh yes.
We received from the Limeys, you know, and boy, that thing was terrible, you know.
Sounds like you do creative cooking.
But if I knew what I know now, I think it would have come out pretty good, because I've tried all different types of meats, especially beef, and wrap it up in aluminum foil and wrap it tightly now. Even if like you can put 2 layers of that foil, and then bake it for 1 hour.
Okay.
And
how about
today,
what size?
Huh?
What size?
12 by 12.
How much?
The aluminum sheet is 12 by 12, and
how much meat?
Meat 1 pound, pound and a half.
1 pound per hour.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Okay, and today I've tried the same thing with steak, round steak, but I think I left it for too long.
Oh.
So, but it comes out real tender, you know, and juicy. But it was slightly overcooked because it started to break apart. But that's my tip to you, Albert, because you seems like a very. And by the way, I was in the same kind of a business as you. I used to be an integrated electronic system mechanic. You know, I don't know if Dr. Fujii said you were in electronics, so.
He was
or
in
the
TV.
movie industry,
He was
whatever.
a makeup artist.
I used to be a makeup artist in the movies.
Oh, makeup artist.
Yes.
Oh.
A facial,
But anyway,
facial
Albert, thank you
electronic.
for the good demonstration you presented tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling, Harusa Joe. We always enjoy your calls. We have another caller. Could you let us know where you're calling from and go ahead with the question, please?
Hi, I'm calling from Hilo.
Okay, and your question?
Hi, I was wondering if you were to make the custard ahead of time, how long would that keep in the refrigerator if you wanted to prepare it right before a dinner?
Okay, Al?
You can keep it for a week.
Okay.
The custard mix will hold for a week.
Okay, is that it? Answer the question in
You're
Hilo.
welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have another question? No, I guess not. Okay, For those of you who just joined us, you're watching Agriculture 194E, Focus on Agriculture, and this evening my guest was Albert Jeyte from the Kilauea Lodge and Restaurant here in Volcano, Hawaii. And the numbers are on the screen. The numbers are 961-9046 and 974-7726. And if you have a question for us, please give us a call. And while we wait for phone calls, let's go back to the Elmo and let's go over the tentative schedule for this semester. Okay, we left off with Margie and Friends on March 10th, and then on the March 17th, we have the Hawaii Tribune Herald writer in the cooking department. We have Sonia Martinez, who's going to do some cooking for us. And then we have March 24th is spring recess, so no classes. And then March 31st, I don't know if our students are going to like it, but our Sodexo Services, the one who runs a cafeteria here at the University of Hawaii at Hilo, will be preparing several dishes for us. And then on the 7th of April, very interesting, we have the Hilo Women's Center with Candace Radowski. She heads up the Women's Center here in Hilo, Hilo, and she's going to get some people together and do some cooking for us. And then on April 14th, the Hawaii Island Portuguese Chamber of Commerce with Rick Toledo will be with us. And I had one email, I forgot where it was from, I think from Kauai. They were hoping that the Portuguese Chamber will come up with a good recipe for Portuguese sausage and so show us how to do that, but we'll see. On April 21st, I'm flying to Kauai, and so we won't do any cooking from Hilo that night, April 21st. We're going to do the program from Kauai Community College, and we're going to have the Kauai Culinary Arts program. And we have Mark Oyama over there, and we're going to do the cooking class from the island of Kauai. And as usual, on April 28th, our last program, we have KTA coming on again to do some cooking. So that is the whole schedule for this coming semester. If you'd like a copy of the schedule, you can get a hold of me by email, and I'll email you the schedule if you would like a copy of it. Okay, we are coming to you live. We have another 2 minutes, time for one more caller. Does anybody have a question from the classroom? Okay, another question. Thank you. You get an A for the day.
Okay, for the rice pilaf, how much olive oil did you add into this?
I added 3.5 ounces.
3.5 ounces. And also, how much power-boiled long rice, grain rice did you add to this?
I had 4 cups.
4 cups.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and as you can see, it makes quite a bit.
Oh, and one more question.
Yes.
For the bread pudding, can it be optional to add the poppy seeds, or is it important to add it?
No, you don't have to add it.
Okay, thank you.
You can leave out the poppy seeds.
Okay, it's got to be real quick.
How about the raisins? Can you leave those out?
You can leave anything out. Whatever. If you don't like raisins, if you don't like coconut flakes, leave it out.
Okay, well, Elle, I want to thank
substitute
you
with something
for
else.
joining us this evening. We've completely run out of time, and we hope that you'll join us next Thursday when we have Uncle Miles Catering joining us. So this is Jack Fujii saying thank you for watching, and have a pleasant evening.
Yeah, they have that showing. They're showing.